Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are subscribed, if you're new, welcome. So today I'm basically going to be going over how to make your knotless braids or box braids in general last. So I actually got these braids done about a week ago and they're still looking pretty good, but I'm going to show you guys how I've been getting them to stay looking pretty good, besides like them being braided very well and very nice and very tight. There are a few things that I do before I go to bed to ensure that my braids aren't getting frizzy early on, because you know, we pay money for our hairstyle, we want them to last, right? So if you look kind of close to my scalp, you can see some frizz, you can see some like little white bulby things, and I'm going to show you kind of how I get rid of that. Okay, so the white bulbs are naturally just going to happen because of natural shedding from my scalp. So what I actually do is just like pull some of them out if I can. If they don't come out, I don't force it. But that's just natural shedding. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I go ahead and do that. I also oil my scalp. This is a mixture of a whole bunch of oils. The main oils in here are wild growth oil. I forget who makes that, but wild growth oil, tea tree oil, and mint oil. So those are the main things in this oil. I did oil my scalp a little bit yesterday, so I'm not going to go overboard right now. But I use this to kind of make sure that my scalp isn't getting dry and I'm not getting any flakes. I do get dandruff, guys. So this is like a perfect mixture for me not to get dandruff. And it smells so good. It smells like peppermint and candy canes, and it's just great. So I'm just going to do that on some of my like itchier spots, which tends to be like in the middle of my head and in the back of my head. And in the front of my head and everywhere, because I get itchy everywhere, guys. So, and it feels so good. It feels so refreshing on the scalp. So I would just take like a carrier oil, any oil that you like, and mix it with some tea tree oil and mint oil. I get my tea tree oil and mint oil from Family Dollar. $5 for a bottle that looks like this. Okay, they're really tiny, but they're $5. And let me see if I can get this on there. It's by Rising Sun, and they're all pure oils and all that. So go ahead and get you some, because it feels really good on the scalp. I got this applicator bottle from the beauty supply store, and it just really helps the oils to get in there. I try not to go overboard because I don't want like super oily hair, but that's what I do for my scalp. For my edges, guys, I use Jamaican black castor oil. Right now I'm using the Naturall Club's growth serum, which is Jamaican black castor oil, and I have the lavender. If you can see that. Come on. Okay, well, I'll put a link to it in the bottom, but it's been really great, and this also smells amazing. So I kind of just take a little on my finger, and I put it more in my trouble areas, which are kind of like more at my, almost close to my nape. Where I'm like, where I have less edges and all that. So I just apply that to my edges to ensure that they're staying intact, if that makes sense. Like you see right here, I don't have a lot of edges, so use my Jamaican black castor oil there. And this isn't from these braids, guys. I've had kind of thin edges for a while now in this specific spot, so it's not because of the braids or anything. Just in case some people want to be like, well, are those braids pulling out your hair? No, they're not pulling out my hair. We're all fine here. Ugh, and this smells so good. It smells just like lavender. It's great. So I'm just kind of massaging that into my edges, into my scalp. Alright, so the next thing I do is I need to make sure my hair, like my actual hair, is being conditioned. So I like to use some kind of conditioning braid spray. This is just the one I have right now. It's Medicated Better Braids. It was like $3 something, I guess, or $4.99 at the beauty supply store. It conditions and it controls itching. Two of the things that I really need. So I just kind of, I don't go overboard again with this because I do use it almost daily. I just kind of spray the roots of my hair, as well as a little bit down the length of the braids to get to like my hair in the braids. And this can be a little bit sticky, so I try not to use too much of it. But again, this also feels really refreshing. This has salicylic, am I saying that right? Salicylic acid in it, which I guess helps with the itching. So do with that what you will. But I just got it in my mouth. That was not good. Alright, so that's about enough. Ugh. Now, to get rid of the frizzies, I like to use edge control on each and every single frizzy. So I'm using my EBIN, whatever you want to call it, 24-hour edge tamer. And I basically look at my individual braids. So I have this white background so you can kind of see. For example, like this one has a pretty bad frizzy, right? So I'm going to take some of my edge control and I'm going to take a tiny bit, like that much. Okay, and I'm basically going to use it like glue. And I'm going to glue these hairs back to the braid. Okay? So and I'm going to kind of press my fingers on it like this. And then that kind of gets rid of the frizzies. Alright, you want to rub it in so that you're not like, so that you don't have like, you know, a whole bunch of buildup. But that's how I get my frizzies to stay to a minimum. Alright, so I basically do that all over my head when I'm trying to like refresh my braids. I don't do it too much to like the ones that have a little bit of frizz. So like these aren't that bad. But like usually the ones in the back that have been like rubbing against my clothes will have the worst ones. So I just kind of go. And again, you're just rubbing that on and you're squeezing with your fingers to kind of glue the hair back in place. If that makes sense. And you want a tacky gel. So like if you're not using EBIN, you want something that's a bit tacky. Okay, so that it's like tacking the hair back to the braid, if that makes sense. So, and then I rub. So I squeeze it like that and then we pull like such. I know it looks a little shiny, but that will fade eventually. But yeah, so as you can see, I don't have any frizzies there anymore. As for the frizzies on the top of your head, like I tend to get them like right here. Again, I will do the same thing. I will take some edge control and just kind of smooth some of these frizzies down. So like this braid, excuse my forehead wrinkles. I will just lay some of these down with some edge control. Okay, I'm trying not to do too much because again, I don't want a bunch of buildup. But just for like the big frizzies, like if they're like little ones, like the ones over here, I won't really worry too much about it. But just try to get as many as I possibly can, and you're just gonna lay them down whatever direction they're supposed to go in, and so on. Now I don't need to do too much of that because these are still pretty fresh. But after that, guys, I use my mousse or setting spray, whichever you prefer. Depending on what I feel like doing, I'll use my mousse. This is the olive oil mega moisture one, or I'll use my setting spray, which is the Care setting spray foam set wrap lotion. I'm just gonna use mousse for today. Some days I use both. It really depends on how I'm feeling. I'm just gonna put mousse on the top of my head. And when you're doing this part, guys, you want to make sure that your hair is set in a way that you wear it. So like, I usually wear it with this part over here, like that. Like that, okay? So now I'm gonna put the mousse and I want to set it in a way that I actually wear the hair, if that makes sense. Okay. Just gonna take a little bit more, that much. And I did my roots, so now I'm just gonna kind of go a little bit past like the roots and more on the length of my hair, of my actual hair. Want to make sure we're getting the back and the sides. And then I kind of just drag it down like so. Now, if you're the type of person to lay your edges, you can do that as well. I'll do it a little bit. I really don't lay my edges too much because I'm trying to preserve them, but I'm just gonna lay them a little bit for right now. Just a little bit. Like, my edges never stay, guys, so I kind of just give up on them. Alright. You can do that. You can add a little bit more. I'm just gonna add a bit more right here. My part. Just rub that in. This braid is super annoying, so I like to tuck it behind my ear. Alright. Now the way that I wear my hair, ooh, God, I just control my eye. The way that I wear my hair to bed is actually in 2 braids or 1 braid. But I'm gonna do 2 for tonight. The reason I like to put it in a braid is because I like my ends to be a little bit curly. They're kind of falling out right now, but I like them to be wavy rather than just like straight. So that's why I kind of like to do the braids. So I'm just gonna braid this side. If you guys haven't seen my video about me getting these braids and like who did my braids and the details on these braids, go ahead and watch the video that I'm actually gonna put up in the cards right here on when I got these braids. Alright guys, so I finished braiding. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more foaming spray to like the back area of my head just because these hairs are being annoying. There we go. It's actually like a cute hairstyle. Alright, and before that dries, I'm going to put on a silk scarf. Like this one. Okay, so I'm just making it into like a triangle. And then put it on my head. And then I crisscross the little ends of the scarf behind my head. Right. And then I just tie it at the top of my head. Like that. Okay, so now I have the 2 braids in the back, and then after that I just throw a big old bonnet on top of it so that the ends don't get like raggedy. And that is how I sleep at night, and that is how I have been maintaining my braids. Now, I personally don't wash my box braids. I spent a good amount of money on the box braids, so I really don't wanna risk messing them up. But there is something that I use to help keep my scalp clean. I haven't done it yet because it's only been a week, but it's the Cantu Shea Butter Root Rinse, apple cider vinegar, root rinse. It has tea tree oil, and this is actually really good to clean your scalp without getting in the shower and using soap and water or shampoo and water and really messing up your braids. So this is definitely something you would want to get. I don't need it right now, so that's why I'm not using it, but maybe later down the line I'll show you guys how I clean my scalp. If you'd like to see a video on that, please leave a comment down below. If you'd like to see a video on some hairstyles of how I wear my braids, also leave a comment down below. I haven't been really wearing hairstyles too much because, like, I don't know, I just like want to wear them like down because they're so nice, but I'll probably be doing more hairstyles once the braids start getting, you know, more raggedy and like I need to wear it up in a bun or something, you know what I'm saying? So leave a comment down below if that's what you'd like to see. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you have a great night, a great evening, a great day, a great morning, and I will see you in the next video.